Welcome, I'm the DeadwoodJedi. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. We've been tasked by Plarium to review our first ever video. Or at least one of our earliest videos. Because I started doing YouTube content, basically right after I released my calculator. My first ever video is kind of thing with some friends opening some shards. I actually didn't think it was that interesting. So I thought I'd do my first real video. My first real YouTube video. This was a while back. Let's just put it that way. And it was my first ever speed tune that I put together on video on YouTube. I'm kind of nervous because I think this is gonna be kind of embarrassing to watch. Just back in the day with my old setup in my old apartment and everything. It's interesting. No green screen. My beard game is definitely not on point. This is I don't know. I think this was in April 25th, 2020. So it's the pandemic was really just in full swing. Or 2021. I don't know, whatever that was, 2021, 2022, something like that. Yeah, we were a month and a half into the pandemic. So it was kind of later in the game. But I figured I could we'll talk it through and see how I do. It's about a 15-minute video, so hopefully we won't take too much longer than that. So yeah, I'm just gonna called Endless Speed Buff. Kind of a cool tune. Well, let's start and check out my amazing intro here. Same music. Look at that. What graphics we got going on here. Welcome. I'm the DeadwoodJedi, and this is the first in what I hope is a series of videos about tuning for the clan boss. I'm calling it my clan boss tuning series. I still have that real creative name. But the idea behind this is I'm going to show a few different speeds that you can run your clan boss team at, your composition, so that you can go faster, do more damage, hopefully just do better overall. Maybe use some unique champions in different ways than you thought of before.
A lot younger
it's
feeling.
Probably not going to be anything too groundbreaking, but the idea is that this is a resource for you guys to find some different speeds to run your teams at. Now, this one in particular,
boy, that audio
I'm very
band.
excited about. This is a unique run that I've been working on.
Hearing me over the radio.
It's what I'm calling a endless speed buff. The idea is that you run with an apothecary or other speed buff champion, as well as a Sandlash survivor, and who extends that debuff, or another buff extender. Excuse me.
I still can't speak
regardless
today.
of how you set it up. The
just
idea
as good
is
as I did that.
You put and you maintain a speed buff on all your champions all the time. Now I've set mine up so that all my champions are moving at a 3-2 speed ratio. So what that means is that for every 2 turns the clan boss takes, you're going to take 3 turns, each of your champions. So a 3-2 speed ratio for all 5 champions is pretty significant. It's not quite as good as counterattack, but it's half as good. Maybe even 2/3 as good, really, when you think about it. So this is another way for you to speed tune your team, use it without having a counterattack champion in the mix. You can use
this is the thing I've been struggling with my entire time.
Really well. But this is an alternative.
I've struggled so much just with not being dull.
I just want to go
when I'm trying to explain this stuff.
Pointing out very quickly the speeds
so
of the
hard
I'm using. So I have Jareg. He's as my lead right now, moving at 232 speed. I also have Steel Skull moving at 229. I have Rosin moving at 178. And then I have Apothecary moving at 227, and I have Sandlash Survivor moving at 197. And with those speeds, I'm able to get to that tune, like I said, where everyone's moving at a 3-2 speed ratio.
Anybody else see all those tildes on there? There's just I'd messed that up and just been pressing those accidentally. Good times. Yeah, this is super exciting here.
So it's very finicky, however. You change the speeds on just one champion by 1 point, it can throw everything off. So you do have to be careful. A couple things I have kind of figured out, though. You need at least one person at 230.
I think you need the other one about 229.
All right, I just go on and explain about all the speeds and how it goes. Like it's a lot of me just kind of explaining how this works. You can see I'm like still talking about the tune, still talking about the speed tune, all the way up until about here. Like first 6 minutes. I definitely know how to construct a video at this point. Keep people engaged. I mean, I can't say a whole lot has changed. I still spend way too much time kind of going into that, and I'm still trying to figure out how to make it more exciting for you guys. But you know, we're working on it. My old school calculator there too. My, how far we've come! Isn't that crazy? How like really, really old that looks. It's pretty wild. Okay, we're just gonna skip ahead. I don't think I can sit here and watch this whole thing.
Find yourself a tune as well. It is not the same tune, but you will find one in there.
Oh, what a transition.
I'm just going to show the total stats. So if you want to check it out, you can pause it. We'll go over it briefly. This is what I usually run Steel Skull at for my Ultimate Nightmare team. Almost 4,000 defense, 28.
This has changed.
In stalwart gear, which is going to help him survive a lot longer.
It's funny how little's changed.
Good crit rate. Crit damage is not that crucial.
It's funny to me how little's changed. Like I'm still like 3,000 defense for these guys, stalwart gear for these guys. We just got to get this speed. Like it's the game hasn't changed that much, guys. It's funny though. This is like kind of like my free to play team right here, right? Where it's like, okay, we got to get to these numbers and we got to get these speeds. Very interesting, but much more free to play, accessible. I mean, this is
if I were to do this,
no legendaries.
Level all these up. This is my normal Ultimate Nightmare run for him, so his crit rate and damage are quite high. Accuracy is where I want it. Defense is a little lower than I'd like that closer to 4,000, but this is the gear.
I sound so bored. Like, and I'm not bored. I just like it's so monotone with my voice here, you know? I'm just like, let's get some energy. Let's get some variation in that. It's crazy. It's crazy how you look back and go, oh my God, that was how I did this. This is why I was so concerned about getting the numbers right and getting the information out there. You forget that it's entertainment first and foremost, which I think is really interesting, right? Just totally different kind of approach to stuff than it is now. But I'm digging the music. Like I don't know what song this is, but I'm freaking digging it right now. Come on, let's go.
Here I have
YouTube.
The 3600 is going to be fine. So we're going to go ahead and run this. We'll see how it goes. I have the team all in here. You can see Jareg's my.
Oh, also, I don't know if you guys realize, but like those numbers, like the HP, I have way lower than I should have, which is kind of wild to me. But like, I just didn't appreciate it as much. It was all about the defense.
Lead, and we're going to just give it a run and see how it goes. And I'm just going to narrate a little bit as it happens. So as we jump in here, I had to do a voiceover for it again as the sound was kind of off, but I kind of hesitated here. We started off on auto,
was kind of off.
Manualing the beginning of my runs. I forgot that this composition is a full auto composition. You just press auto from the get-go and it works.
That's cool.
So yeah, they just go in, you get those speed buffs up, but you extend them with Sandlash Survivor, and then they're going to stay up almost all the time. Now, one of the interesting things I realized was that because Jareg uses the increased defense buff as well as Steel Skull, you have that buff up almost the entire fight, which just makes the entire team tankier. It's a more sustainable run, and defensive champions like Rosin are going to hit, and Sandlash for that matter, are going to hit much, much harder. So that's a nice ancillary benefit to a grouping like this. One of the things I was thinking about, because you'll notice our debuff bar never gets full. It gets pretty close, halfway, 3/4, but we never get a full 10 debuffs on there. I was thinking Frozen Banshee would actually be fantastic for this run. The reason why is she'll take one.
You know what's really interesting right now is like, yeah, I said I have re-recorded the sound. I don't remember doing this video, but it's interesting listening to myself because all of a sudden now I have there's more animation in my voice. I'm more excited, more variation. You can like hear what I'm talking about. This is the actor in me kind of breaking this down, by the way. And what's interesting about that is that I'm not on video for this. And that I think is the difference. Is I don't have to focus on how I look and how I'm presenting myself. It's just about how I'm sounding. And so because of that, all of a sudden now there's more stuff going on. My concentration isn't split into what am I doing, like how do I look and how do I sound. And I think that's kind of interesting. Obviously, it's been a couple years now, so like I'm more used to doing that stuff with everything I do, but it's very interesting because I'm more engaged now. All of a sudden I'm listening and I'm like, oh, this is okay, yeah, what's going on? Oh, okay, that makes more sense. And it's funny, it's one of those things I see with like newer content creators, like their voice stays pretty flat and it's hard to stay focused on what's being said, but getting that variation, it makes it so much easier to follow. It's kind of crazy and wild to watch. But I love this team. This is such an old school team for me. I would use Steel Skull in almost everything. Rosin was a mainstay for me. This is kind of cool. All right, let's keep going. Oop. There we go.
One turn you put up the poison sensitivity, and then the next 2 turns she'll put up 4 poison debuffs on 2-turn cooldowns. But that's only within 2 turns. Start getting into this, making sure that we have those debuffs on consistently. So at this point, you have a pretty good sense of how this run works and how the turns cycle over and over. So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to cut it, and I'm just going to speed up some of the clan boss stuff so you can still see it, but it's not taking forever. And then I'll come back right towards the end.
I love this. Oh my god, so much louder. Oh, the volume just jumped up on me right there. I definitely didn't get the tuning of that. It's always been something I've struggled with. But it's funny, when I first started doing these, I was like, oh, I'll play music during my runs. And I didn't really see anybody else doing that at the time. I'm sure I got that from somebody, but I don't remember who I got that from. But it seemed like it was something a little unique. And definitely I tried to go with a different style of music than other people, so this became kind of the thing that I've kept to this day, which I think is pretty cool. And like the 2x speed thing, there's a long time where I would do the whole run all the time, 2x speed, just to kind of watch it. And I still think that's valuable, but I think a lot more often, especially since we do more unkillable teams, we can just cut and show a little bit of at the end. But I always love showing a little bit of my speed tunes. Like I like to show a little bit so you see what's happening. It's wild, the production difference from today to back then is pretty night and day, I have to tell you. But it's funny, it's interesting seeing all the like the mainstays, all the like.
Pretty sure right here is where we're gonna lose Steel Skull and Apothecary. You saw that increased defense fell off them, that buff left. That's immediately after that they both collapse. But we're doing pretty good damage wise. We're in that 13 million range right now. I think we're going to end up finishing right around 14 million, which I think easily could be bumped up to 15 or 16 million. And if you could find the right team, get the right champions, you might even be able to do better than that. But honestly, 13, 14 million with essentially no legendary champions. The only one is Rosin, who is a free to play kind of champion. This is a pretty good run.
A pretty good run. That's not even a 4-key. What am I talking about? Oh my gosh. It's wild, right? 14 million. That's a pretty good run. Like the game has changed so much since back then. Our expectations have changed immensely, obviously. Like people are 1-king all over the place. Putting up 2 billion damage is like the new thing. So like, oh man, it's such a different world. Oh, great. Now we get to watch my 1997, I think is probably more accurate, website of here I first had. Oh boy. I'm glad this part's at least a little bit more professional these days.
I'm hoping that was helpful for you guys. I found it a really fun and interesting kind of composition. I'd like to, and I probably will play with it a little bit more, silver and gems allowing. But I feel like I wasn't able to make the most of that, but I know the community probably can. There's somebody out there that is going to be a little bit smarter about how to incorporate a permanent speed buff to their team for Clan Boss. So if that was helpful for you guys, if you like that, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like the video. I do want to point out, if you have a moment, please check out my website that I have on the screen here. I have links to the calculator, There's links to the Excel file behind it if you want to play around with the actual nuts and bolts that make it work. Also, I have a full tutorial series, so if you are not the type to read and understand how something works, I got visuals for you. So hopefully that's helpful. And then there's links down here to my YouTube channel as well as email if you'd like to get in touch with me that way. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys. I'm looking forward to the next one. I'm probably going to start talking about a 4-3 speed tune, something that I think most raiders end up using at some point or another to help optimize the champions they have. I'm going to be talking a little bit about speed in the game in general in some other videos, since I've gotten a pretty full understanding having worked on my calculator. I figured that's going to be useful for you guys as well. So hopefully this was helpful. And
it's so funny how this all kind of worked out. Like, this is such a, oh man, it's so weird. Like the website is so basic here and so bad. I'd still love the font, but I mean, it's just so like somebody tossed that in a Word document. It's like the best they could do there. It's pretty wild, man. I have to say. It's you know, that hat, I still have that hat, by the way. I don't know where it is right now. Maybe do I have it? No. Anyway, I have that hat still. It's my Wasteland hat. I go to Wasteland every year. It's like this Mad Max kind of thing where I got my name Deadwood. I'm called Deadwood. Everybody calls me Deadwood when I'm there. But like, that was my hat. And I was like, oh, I'll just wear this hat. And then it's kind of, you know, it's morphed obviously into a classier version of myself. But I think that's really funny how like that's kind of changed and stayed the same. You can see in the background all my you know, all the plays I've been in. I had like little frames for some of the posters and stuff back there. I've got on those shelves, those little shelves beneath those, I have my little D&D miniatures that I used to paint and stuff like that. So it's so funny. My old apartment right there. But yeah, this is a crazy blast from the past, man. Let's see if I actually let's see if I do the same outro I usually do. Curious.
And, you know, good luck raiding out there. Take down that clan boss and make your clan proud. That said, I'm the Deadwood Jedi. Night.
Nope. It's evolved. It's evolved since then. Oh, we still got the same outro. There we go. That music, though, that ain't changed. Well, guys, that was that really was a blast from the past. Okay, stop. What a trip that was. What a trip down memory lane. Crazy. I look so different. It's funny how many things are exactly the same and how many things have completely changed, right? I think that's wild. You know, you expect, I don't know what I expect. I don't know what I expected. But it's funny to me how much has changed, how much better my performance is now than it was then. But also, like, the structure of my videos is pretty much the same, very similar, right? More efficient now, I think, but it's very similar. It's very interesting. This was fun. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this. I mean, I don't know. I probably wouldn't do a video like this on my own, but it was kind of a fun little trip backwards in time, kind of see where we started. It was definitely interesting. You want to see real bad production, though? Go watch the shard pull video I did for the very, very, very first time. I apologize for the sound in the very beginning. Let's just put it that way. It's already that bad from the very start. It was so bad, I was like, I can't review this. There's no way I can review this. This will be stupid. Anyway, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. That's all we got. Till next we meet. Or what should I say? I'm Deadwood Jedi. Good night. All right. Till next we meet. I'm the Deadwood Jedi.